This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what do you have on tap for us today?
Okay, well, our thoughts on latest volumes of Transformers and Void Rivals are still coming, but tonight we're having to talk about something else that came up in my queue before then, and that is hey, one of the latest Star Wars comics come out of Marvel. That is the Battle of Jakku. Now, if you're wondering what the battle of what? Well, this is the battle that was referenced in in the sequel trilogy, and was basically just described as the it's like basically the real end point for the Galactic Empire. Because even though Vader and Palpatine died in the second Death Star, Return of the Jedi, well, the Empire still had a lot of capable commanders and a lot of military might in order to keep fighting. So yeah, the head may have been cut off, but the body didn't quite know was dead yet. And while the Battle of Jakku has been referenced in other Star Wars media as well, like books and other animated series, Marvel apparently thought this was noteworthy enough that they wanted to devote 3 interconnected miniseries to it that would all make up the battle itself. And when I say 3 interconnected miniseries, I mean they basically solicited these 3 miniseries were called, let's see, Insurgency Rising, Republic Under Siege, and Last Stand. And that was basically all to avoid, advertising the fact that this is basically one big 12-issue maxi series. Because, hey, you know what? It's they get a new number 1, it's after every 4 issues, and hey, it's they can just, offset the, usual standard attrition after that point, which, okay, yeah, that's basically how Marvel works these days, and how Star Wars is working for them. Because while Star Wars is still a big, it's still something that they're still dedicated to publishing multiple titles about and miniseries for. It is the huge commercial shine that happened after they got the license from Dark Horse years ago, where they're able to sell 1 million copies of Star Wars #1. Well, that's not the case anymore. And so now this is basically how Star Wars is these days. Instead of doing the Battle of Jakku 1 through 12, now you've got 3 interconnected miniseries that basically tell one story, but hey, you just get a new number 1 every every 4 every 4 issues. So that's where we are. And also it's being written by Alex Segura. Segura is a noted mystery novelist and comics writer who's done lots of work for DC, other stuff for Marvel, and also for Dark Horse as well. I look at him and think, okay, I know that name, but in terms of getting a name writer to do this stuff, when Marvel got Jason Aaron to do the original Star Wars series, and then followed him up with Kieron Gillen, and then Charles Soule got the go for the post Empire Strikes Back era. Well, Segura isn't what I'd call a really high profile pick. So, but hey, you know what? It's there have been plenty of other writers who haven't who I've read stuff for, and they've managed to make their names with with these kinds of things. So my hope was that hey, Segura's gonna step up and kind of knock this out of the park. As hey, we've got this 12-issue series that has a specific point. It the details a specific point in Star Wars continuity. It's and so hopefully he'll be able to to step up and show us how why this battle was important. It's and transition to a new era of Star Wars storytelling. Well, I can say that the Battle of Jakku is definitely a transition point to a new era of Star Wars storytelling. Is it any good? Well, it's not terrible. I can tell you that much. It basically picks up, not long after the the destruction of the second Death Star with it's like with the rebels, by partying down on it's like on Endor. It's like afterwards, only to learn that there's another like Imperial warlord who's like causing trouble in his sector. One guy by the name of like Ubrick like Adelhard, who runs the Anoat it's like Anoat sector. It's like, and he's basically running a message saying that like Palpatine and Vader didn't die, and that the Empire is still stronger than ever, and he's running his own blockade of the sector in order to like assert dominance over it, and just basically like making all sorts of like warlord moves, like just letting him know that he's the new like big bad guy on campus, and he's also like working to like get get assistance from like a Sith from a like secret Sith cult known as the Order. It's like Order of Beyond, and also it's a bunch of spice runners as well, saying that he's got the power of the underworld working for him as well. And this is what the it's like the rebellion has to deal with, and even as like Han Solo goes off to do other stuff at this time, and Luke has to like track down some like Jedi artifacts, I think, and Leia is like working with Mon Mothma in like the dirty business of like building the New Republic. Well, you've got like all these people trying to it's like fight against like Adelhard, as well as the other proper Imperials who are also masterminding like Operation Cinder, which was the Emperor's plan to just basically like burn the galaxy if we were to ever die. And if you're hearing this and thinking, wait, there's like a lot of like contradictory stuff going on here. It's like you've got Operation Cinder, you've got Han Solo going off doing his own thing, and and whatnot, and then Segura basically has to like thread a lot of stuff here from from a lot of the post Return of the Jedi novels and other material here. And while I can understand that like that's definitely a tough order to fill here, it's like it's not something that I think he pulls off particularly well here, mainly because it's like it just kind of feels like he's just doing a lot of like generic, it's like the Empire is up to bad stuff, and now we're getting a bunch of like other characters who are just like who like have to like help like the familiar faces of the rebellion that we all know and love to to help fight them off. And on one hand, okay, it's like bringing up a bunch of new characters here, fine. I mean, like every every Star Wars story has done this, but a lot of these characters here, like from the like lieutenant who's like working under like Adelhard from his and from his imperial like machine faced second in command, to Reina Oscura, who's like one of the like people who's like working with the like Sith cult that he also like co-ops. I mean, a lot of these people are just kind of like not all that interesting, or just like kind of feel like they're driving just meant to drive the plot rather than just be proper characters in and of themselves. And this is also something that annoyed me over the course of this series, that Segura has this like really annoying habit of like like stating having the characters state like their full names over the course of it's like over the course of the story, like Reina Oscura. It's like they always say her name out properly. It's like everyone's like name is like stated like like it's like first and last name, like saying like, yeah, first and last name proper. It's like it's annoying, and it just like really takes me out of the story every time I see this. And also it's like, even though this story is called The Battle of Jakku, well, it's a better title would be The Build Up to the Battle of Jakku, because like I said, it starts at the end of like at the battle of Endor, and then eventually like like around like after like 10 issues, we finally get to the Battle of Jakku itself, and this is also after like Adelhard has been revealed to be just not really like the great warlord that he aspired to be, but kind of like a tryhard who misinterpreted Vader's words of praise to him when he took over governance of his sector. And I'll admit that part is kind of cute in saying that hey, he's not he wasn't like the big bad guy that he thought he was going to be, and that now he's going to like destroy both sides out of spite. But in the end, it's like it just kind of feels like like disappointing, and like like a Segura was just trying to find like a desperately trying to find a new story angle for this conflict that he could tell, that didn't contradict established canon. Because like looking through the Wikipedia entry on the Battle of Jakku, it kind of feels like that you probably could have done like 12 full issues on the battle itself, but in order to like find a new angle on it, Segura is basically trying to like show us what like Luke, Leia, all these randos were doing like in the time leading up to it as well, which ultimately isn't all that interesting. And especially when like hey, when you bring in like Dr. Aphra for a cameo, and she's just kind of like there to just like advance like plot mechanics. Yeah, you may be doing things wrong, and that's annoying. And and also Lando's here as well, but he's just like there because hey, everyone likes Lando, right? And yeah, it's like there's and even like there are like interesting bits like like these bounty hunters being called in to like wipe out like former old Republic senators who the New Republic probably could have used to rebuild things. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it culminates in a really interesting or it's like or compelling overall story. It's like it just kind of feels like we're just getting a lot of plot points that needed to be addressed in order to address the concerns of continuity between the like everything else had been written about the Battle of Jakku in the meantime. But in the end, it's like I just couldn't care. And also this while I consider myself like a connoisseur of like a lot of Star Wars continuity, um, when you bring in like when one of your big plot points is you bring in like a pirate who has their own like a super star destroyer like as a big like major plot point in your concluding issues here, you're kind of like, and I had to go look it up to find out, where did this person come from? Oh, wait, they're from the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy of novels by Chuck Wendig. Okay, sure. It's like it's like I mean, this series like really tested my like enjoyment of like digging into Star Wars continuity, or just like believing me to be someone who was like kind of up on everything. But even then like Star Wars has revealed itself to be like hey, like yeah, like, when you're not up on continuity, it can be just a gigantic pain in the ass to like to like to enjoy stuff if you're not. Witness this. Witness also Ahsoka. So and also you know like Segura did write all 12 issues of this. The series also had like multiple artists over the course of its run, primarily Leonard Kirk, Stefano Raphael, and Jethro Morales, who are all solid, capable artists who've done solid, capable work elsewhere. But you know, like when you're saying that hey, these are the guys you get in order to like deliver a oh, and also this like the series is meant to be was also like published on like a weekly to bi-weekly basis initially. And they I think like they all did fine here, but I wouldn't say that there's a lot of like exceptional work being done here. I mean they delivered solid enough work that the series got out on time. But I don't know, so I can't say that this would be like a highlight of their resumes or anything. It's probably worth noting that Phil Noto is coming back on Star Wars for the new series that will be written by Alex Segura, that'll be diving into the post post Return of the Jedi era. And well, while I can understand that we want like a transition point in order to address all of the stuff that has happened like in other media here, I don't think that the Battle of Jakku really did a good job of that. And yeah, I think that Seguro's may have been working with one hand tied behind his back here in order to try and acknowledge everything that have been done in other media here. But the fact is, like, I was still reading this and thinking of ways that I could have like done this better, and that's not something you want to be in. I mean, no, it's like I'm not a comic books writer, but at the same time, though, like you're leaving me with the feeling that I could have come up with something better, and that's never a good space to be in. Will I go and get Segura's first volume of Star Wars when it comes out? Probably, mainly because I want to believe that Marvel knows what this guy is really capable of, and that hey, like maybe he'll be able to deliver something that like is worthy of the previous runs on this title. But and hey, maybe like he'll even be able to make some of the stuff he introduces in the Battle of Jakku actually worthwhile. I'm not optimistic, but at the same time, though, um, I talked earlier about how I believe that Charles Soule, who wrote the post Empire Strikes Back run on Star Wars, someone who's whose writing level is who has a very close ceiling to floor level, and even though it means that if it meant that we're getting anything that was truly like great, it meant something we were never going to get something that was just genuinely bad as well. And reading the Battle of Jakku, that just made me appreciate Soule's contributions like in the previous series that much. It's like that much more. It's like if you want to know about the Battle of Jakku, just know that like there's some bad dudes like the New Republic eventually triumphed over them. It's like, and now it's like there's a big universe, big galaxy of possibility for them to just try and make things better. Except they probably won't, because you know how the sequel trilogy turned out. So there you go. Would I recommend this? No, but hey, I'm probably going to go and check out the next series because I'm a sucker for punishment, and hey, hope springs eternal here. Like, cross your fingers and all.
Yeah. Well, that's all you can do, right?
Yeah,
Um,
go watch season 2 of Andor, because that's like a good reminder of just how good Star Wars can be. So
yep. All right. You know what you're going to be talking about next time?
okay, well, cross your fingers, John. But hopefully we're gonna be talking about Volume 3 of Transformers and Void Rivals next time.
Yeah. Sounds really good. All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
Later, everyone.